the San Diego Mojo at the CHI Health Center in Omaha. The Mullen Motors pregame show with Derek Pearson and Renee Saunders starts at 5 p.m. with first serve at 6. Make sure to tune into the next Ag Appraisal and Realty postgame show right after the match ends. Catch all the action.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Coppell Chevrolet GMC. We'd like to say thank you for a record-setting 2023. So let's start off 2024 with the bang. They've got huge trade-in bonuses and finance bonusing happening right now on our new inventory at Coppell. Get up to $8,500 off select new models at Coppell. So if you're shopping for a new GM product, go to our website at coppellcars.com. You won't believe the discounts. Make that short money-saving drive down 144th Street. You'll be glad you did. Must have trade and finance with roof credit. Stock number G207684.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, expecting partly sunny skies to go along with more mild weather. We'll see a high of around 57. Tonight, mainly cloudy skies expected with a low of around 40. And tomorrow, more partly sunny skies, more warmer weather too. We'll see a high of around 55. I'm meteorologist Kyle Clucker from 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Sandhills Global is hiring. With their fast-paced, growing culture, they have hundreds of new openings in sales, marketing, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Full-time roles offer a 4.5-day work week, along with flexible internships in most areas. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Find your fit today at www.sandhills.jobs.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. This is the Happy Hour.
You guys going to happy hour?
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America.
Yeah, I'll come for a couple.
Here are your hosts, Nick Sainert.
I want to know what it's like to commit a crime without having to spend time in jail.
And Enrique Alvarez Clary.
C is for chunk.
Brought to you by Empire Fence and Netting on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome in. Happy Thursday. It's the happy hour. Starting a couple minutes early. We're finishing out the noon hour after we played a replay of Jay Foreman's Inside the Huddle. Huge thanks to Advanced Medical Imaging for their support of that. Huge thanks to Empire Fence and Netting for their support of the happy hour day in and day out. I was just telling Rico the other day, we're approaching 3 years of the happy hour, which is kind of crazy. We're still like 5 months away, yes, but we're still approaching, it's kind of crazy to think. 3 years, it's flown on by. Rico is out today. It's going to be myself. Jay Foreman will actually join me for the first segment here in just a few minutes. This one's going to be a really, really quick segment. So Jay will join me for the top of the 1 o'clock hour, as there is so much to get to. Obviously, we came in today thinking, all right, you know what? Nebraska basketball, we're going to have to break down Nebraska versus the Badgers tonight. Get ready for that one, as that's a 7:30 p.m. tip-off from Pinnacle Bank Arena. I'm expecting quite a few folks, right? This is now that Wisconsin not is only ranked 6th, not only is it a revenge game for Nebraska basketball, but Wisconsin top of the Big Ten standings, Nebraska needing every win it feels like that they can get to kind of lock down that NCAA tournament spot. And you might look at me and say, Nick, it's crazy that you're saying, Nebraska could lock it down. It's hard to say no to a team that wins, has 2 top 6 victories underneath their belt, even if they are at home. Quad 1 wins, baby. That's all that matters. So we're going to talk to Jacob Bigelow actually at 1:30 today of Huskers Illustrated, good friend of mine. and he'll break it down. And we'll just talk about the realistic possibility that Nebraska has ahead of them to make the NCAA tournament here at 1:30. But first, and just to preview the 1 o'clock hour before we take a real quick timeout once again, you might have remembered about a year ago, maybe 10 months ago at this time, as you know, Happy Hour, big baseball show, we dove deep into Brad Bohannon. And you might say, who is Brad Bohannon? Well, he was the former Alabama head baseball coach. You might have heard or remember that last year he got fired mid-season because of a sports betting scandal. Well, the decision has been made for Brad Bohannon, rather. The fallouts or the decision from the NCAA on, hey, if a school wants to hire Brad Bohannon, guess what? He's not coaching for a while, even though you're going to hire him. His little partner in crime as well, the one that was making all the sports bets, he got indicted yesterday as well. So it's fascinating. More details are being released to that. So we'll dive into that. I want to get Jay's thoughts on that situation in the 1 o'clock hour. Plenty of Husker hoops, plenty of NFL discussion. Austin is also out today and tomorrow, so I'm going to be filling in for Strick. And then I'm going to be spending the day with DP and Jay on Old School this afternoon. So I'll be with you guys and in this seat until 6 p.m. tonight before I make my way over to Pinnacle Bank Arena. It's going to be a good one. Don't go anywhere. Like I said, Happy Hour, it fully begins coming up in just a few minutes as Jay Foreman will join me for the first segment of the 1 o'clock hour before we get to Jacob Bigelow of Huskers Illustrated to break down Huskers and Badgers. All that and more coming up next, coming up on the Happy Hour. Don't go anywhere. Huge thanks to Empire Fence and Netting. And we'll be right back on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
Sandhills Global is hiring. With their fast-paced, growing culture, they have hundreds of new openings in sales, marketing, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Full-time roles offer a 4.5-day work week, along with flexible internships in most areas. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Find your fit today at www.sandhills.jobs.
Go Hog Wild Pit Barbecue.
It's not just the big game everyone looks forward to, it's the food. If you're hosting a super party, let Hog Wild Pit Barbecue do the cooking so you can cheer on your favorite team. Slow smoked ribs, beef brisket, pulled pork, hot links, and so much more. Order online at GoHogWild.com. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, 3210 Cornhusker Highway in Lincoln.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
Gentlemen, Valentine's Day is just around the corner. Don't be that guy running to the store for flowers and a card on your way home. Hey, Rick Heyman here from Sartor Heyman Jewelers. We have great Valentine's gifts in store now. And if you spend $99, we'll throw in a free bouquet of a dozen roses. Give her what she really wants this year and let us do the rest. Sartor Heyman Jewelers, your hometown jeweler since 1905 in Lincoln and Grand Island. Online at sartorheyman.com.
At Southeast Community College, community is our middle name. Our continuing education classes offer personal interest, traffic safety and licensing, online learning, and adult education classes across Southeast Nebraska or online in your own home. Learn to ride a motorcycle, how to start a small business, how to dance, or take a course to advance in your current career path. See the full schedule of continuing education classes online at southeast.edu/continuing. SCC, your path to possible.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now, they've raised wages again, and they're hiring for production operators at $24.62 per hour, which grows to $28.97 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $33.36 per hour, with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or apply, go to continentaljobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, expecting partly sunny skies to go along with more mild weather. We'll see a high of around 57. Tonight, mainly cloudy skies expected with a low of around 40. And tomorrow, more partly sunny skies, more warmer weather too. We'll see a high of around 55. I'm meteorologist Kyle Klecker from 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Are you tired of living in pain? It's time to take control. At Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, we're your one-stop shop for expert care in Lincoln. From broken bones to complex reconstruction, our skilled team will help you get back on track. Visit prairieortho.com today and discover why we're the trusted choice for thousands of patients. Don't let pain hold you back. Take the first step towards a better pain-free life with Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, where healing begins. Call 402-489-4700.
We wait all pro football season for the big game. But will you come out on top? Warhorse Festival of Games is putting you at the center of the action with 2 chances to win big. Earn entries for our $100,000 prop card challenge daily at Warhorse Casino Lincoln. Enjoy slots, sports wagering, and horse racing. Then make your picks about the big game to be eligible to win. Qualifying entries will also be put in the running for your share of the $20,000 grand prize drawing. Increase your luck for the drawing by playing free online games on the Festival of Games website. Skip the trip to Vegas and get in on the big game right here at Lincoln's favorite place to play. And if that's not enough, our $1 million bracket challenge for college basketball is coming soon. Full details are online at warhorsecasino.com. Warhorse Casino Lincoln, just minutes from downtown at Highway 77 and West Denton Road. Why not today? Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
Husker fans, your Nebraska wrestling team is back at the Bob Devaney Sports Center for a Big Ten matchup on Sunday, February 4th against Illinois. The duel begins at 2 p.m., and the first 350 fans will receive a Nebraska wrestling pennant. For more information or to secure your tickets, visit huskers.com/tickets or call 402-472-3111. Again, that's huskers.com/tickets or call 402-472-3111.
The Omaha Supernovas are back in action this Saturday, February 3rd versus the San Diego Mojo at the CHI Health Center in Omaha. The Mullen Motors pregame show with Derek Pearson and Renee Saunders starts at 5 p.m. with first serve at 6. Make sure to tune into the Next Ag Appraisal and Realty postgame show right after the match ends. Catch all the action on your flagship station, 93.7 The Ticket, and statewide on the Supernovas Radio Network.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Coppell Chevrolet GMC. And we'd like to say thank you for a record-setting 2023. So let's start off 2024 with the bang. They've got huge trade-in bonuses and finance bonusing happening right now on our new inventory at Coppell. Get up to $8,500 off select new models at Coppell. So if you're shopping for a new GM product, go to our website at coppellcars.com. You won't believe the discounts. Make that short money-saving drive down 144th Street. You'll be glad you did. Must have trade and finance with roof credit. Stock number G207684.
You're listening to the Happy Hour with Nick Sainert and Enrique Alvarez Clary.
Look at me. This plane is going to Jamaica.
Sponsored by Empire Fence and Netting on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back into the Happy Hour 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Nick Sainert now joined by Jay Foreman. What's up, Jay?
What's popping?
How we feeling?
Doing all right, man. How about yourself?
The weather's pretty legit out there right now.
It is. It's a beautiful day outside. 60 degrees,
makes me want to golf. I mean, come on. No wind is the key.
Yeah, that is the key. Yeah.
As I mentioned before, 402-464-5685, the Honda of Lincoln hotline and the Starter Heyman text line are open for you guys the entire show today, as well as the Starter Heyman Jewelers live video stream, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and Allo channel 961. Jay, I wanted to get your thoughts on this because in the college baseball world, about little less than a year ago, Alabama head coach Brad Bohannon got fired mid-season for suspicious gambling activity, I think is the way that they put it, the way they phrased it. And the infractions were released today for the former Alabama head baseball coach. Now, just to kind of give folks a refresher, former coach Brad Bohannon texted his friend, a bettor, his name is Brett Nerf, that a key player for the Crimson Tide was going to miss that night's game against LSU. The bettor then tried to place a $100,000 bet on the Alabama LSU game, but the sports book that it was being placed at in Cincinnati, Ohio, only allowed baseball bets to limit $15,000. So when he came up and said, "Hey, I want to put $100,000 on Alabama to win tonight against LSU," the casino, the sports book, kind of waived it and said, "Hey, hold on, there's some suspicious activity going on here." Then in that point, and there's going to be multiple instances of just how stupid could this be. The bettor, then how about this, told the sportsbook staff that the bet was, quote, for sure going to win, and, quote, if only you guys knew what I knew. The suspicious activity also included the bettor showing sportsbook staff messages from Brad Bohannon and explaining that the messages were Bohannon informing him that Alabama was going to scratch their starting pitcher before the game and before Bohannon alerted LSU. So then, why is it important that he told the bettor, "Hey, we're going to scratch our guy tonight," before he notified LSU? Well, obviously, when you notify the other team, it becomes public. The line drops. Therefore, your return or your potential ROI drops down as well. The text messages indicated that Alabama baseball was going to scratch their starting pitcher against LSU because of an injury. Brad Bohannon then provided this information to the bettor before reporting the starting lineup and the injury to the LSU coaching staff. And here's the kicker. Specifically, Bohannon then texted the bettor, quote, in all caps, "Hammer LSU. Our starting pitcher is out for sure. Let me know when you get it done so I can tell LSU, hurry up." All this is being reported by Chris Vanini of The Athletic. But so, Jay, the NCAA penalties surrounding Alabama baseball and now Brad Bohannon is a 15-year show cause penalty for Bohannon, which then includes, if he is hired by another institution, he is suspended for 5 years during those 15 years. He also has 3 years of probation, and he's fined $5,000. But the kicker, as we were talking before the show, in the next 15 years, if Brad Bohannon gets hired by any other institution, he is suspended for 5 seasons.
Yeah, the $5,000 fine is nothing. Where they got him is the 15-year show cause, because that's a long time to be on show cause. That that's a long time, right? You can make one little mistake, right? It's like being like your second strike in like California or something like that, and you just jaywalk and you're back in. Then the suspension for 5 regular seasons, nobody's going to hire you. So essentially, they told him you were so egregious and so cocky, and I'm sure that isn't the only one that they went back and found. This is the one that's very public, obviously for obvious reasons. That they never want him to coach, obviously major Division I or college baseball again. And I don't know where else he's going to coach. You got to go over there and maybe coach the Shanghai Knights or something like that.
Well, and to this point, it'd be like if an institution wanted to hire him next season and ahead of the 2025 season. All right, you can't actually coach until 2030.
Yeah, and the hard part is, say he did have a friend that was an AD or an administrator, and they want to hire him and say, okay, you're going to hire him as, let's say, a quote unquote baseball senior advisor, right? The tricky part is, even if he was there for 5 years, would that eliminate the 5-year probationary status or suspension? There's nobody going to touch him. And yeah, he could probably appeal it. And even if he got it down to say 3, that's still a long time, because you know what? An AD could get fired. your assistant coaches, or the sitting coach could have some success, and then therefore you're not hired again. You definitely want to be compensated as an active coach.
No.
You just be just there hanging out. Unless he can get a lawyer that can really, knock some of that stuff down and get some details to where he could actively, be a coach, even though he's technically suspended for those 5 years. His career as a coach, and also let's not forget, he was coaching and probably making a pretty good penny at the University of Alabama in the SEC. Obviously, they baseball wise, they're probably not on the level of there go to Wisconsin coaches right there.
Oh yeah, there he is. How about that?
Yeah. Should we invite him? No, just playing.
You walking the wrong way. PBA is the other direction.
Yeah, they must have either just got in or just got done with like a shoot around. But he was making a pretty good penny at Alabama.
Yeah.
And, they're probably an upper echelon SEC team, right? They're not Arkansas. They're probably not LSU. They're probably not Florida. They're pretty good, right? So it's not like you were at who would be you're not at Meatloaf State, rubbing nickels. Like you were straight greedy. And sure, that type of stuff is around. It's going to be more rampant. We've seen it. And I think, Nick, correct me if I'm wrong, that situation set off the stuff in Iowa.
Yeah.
Right.
It did.
Right. So
this was the first big, in the last couple of seasons, that is, first big scandal that was released where it was like, okay, now we need to do some investigating all over the place. In addition, I told you guys, Burt Neff, who is Brad Bohannon's better, I guess. He is a real estate investor and youth baseball coach in Indiana.
There you go.
How about this? He has now been charged. He was just charged yesterday with destroying evidence, tampering with witnesses, and providing false statements to the FBI in the case involving suspicious wagering activity concerning the Alabama LSU baseball game last April.
That's a good friend to have, though. We got to rob a bank with him.
Yeah, lying to the FBI, tampering with witnesses, and destroying evidence. And once again, just like the amount of stupidity
of those three
of this entire case.
Of those three things you just said, which one would you probably not do? I would probably not lie to the FBI.
I would not provide false statements to the FBI.
Yeah,
everything you can kind of say, "Hey, I messed up. I shouldn't have deleted the text messages.
Yeah, it was an accident.
It was an accident. I don't like clutter on my phone.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that that could be the destroying evidence piece. I didn't realize that me talking to Jay was tampering with witnesses.
Yeah,
that's my bad.
Or I accidentally ran into Nick at Hy-Vee.
Yeah. You know what? I didn't mean to lie to you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I wasn't in the right frame of mind.
I'm not providing false statements.
Can we go over that again?
I mean, so
can you ask me again? I couldn't hear you.
That's what I'm saying. It's just the amount of stupidity in this case. Not only from Neff, who didn't realize that, hey, the sports book that I'm currently going to puts a limit on the wager amount at 15,000.
Like if you
wouldn't
go,
you think those are important
you
details?
come up to the window and say, "Hey, I want to wager on X game."
Yeah. What's the max? What's the max that I can put on?
And then you didn't have a plan. Let's just go right below the max so we don't get in trouble. But he wants to go almost 10 times the max.
Well, so $15,000 limit. He tries to put up $100 grand.
Yeah, 7 times.
Yep, $100 grand, and says, and then
nobody would notice that though.
And then when he gets flagged, and they say, "Sir, we're not going to let you do that," he then gets mad, and instead of just walking away, he shows the sports book staff, "Hey, look at these text messages from the Alabama baseball coach. They're going to lose. We need to put it on LSU."
But I just said that he was a good friend just because he was tampering with evidence.
Idiotic friend.
He might be a dumb friend though. He's a good dummy.
Idiot.
Yeah.
Because just the unwillingness to just walk away and say, "You know what? Let me try another casino."
Here's what I wonder. I wonder if Bohannon knew that he was going to try to bet 100,000. Because I could bet I'd like to think Bohannon was like, "Yeah, that's probably a little bit too much." You know what I'm saying? I think he went rogue on himself, and then Bohannon obviously, catching the flack.
Well, so how about this? So it was more than just the $100,000 wager, because once again, this is coming from Chris Vanini of The Athletic. It's all on Twitter. All the legal documents are on Twitter. It says shortly after receiving the electronic messages from Bohannon, the bettor attempted to place the $100,000 wager on LSU money line at the BetMGM Sportsbook at the Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati. the home of the Cincinnati Reds. The sportsbook staff limited the better to a $15,000 wager. The bettor then attempted to place additional wagers involving the April 28th Alabama versus LSU baseball game, but the sportsbook staff declined the wagers due to suspicious activity.
Yeah.
So they realized, they were like, hey, something's going on here that we're not going to let any better or any bets go down or be processed involving this game.
Yeah, I mean,
crazy.
Look, I guess you could say criminals generally aren't the smartest people, but I guess it probably was greed.
They wanted more than $100 grand.
I understand the better. I mean, well, if you're doing that, I'm sure there's more than one casino around the Indiana area.
Exactly.
You probably
he was at the Reds game though, and he's like, "Hey, I don't want to leave the Reds game."
Right. Well, if you really want to make it, you can spread it out a little bit. You can time it out, and
there you go.
MapQuest works well, or whatever on your phone, and just probably strategically do there. And you might still, Bohannon might be still having a job, and he might be still coaching youth baseball there. What a great. What a great figure to have as your coach of your kids, right?
Thanks to DP, we have some more information. Alabama at the time was 43-21 under Bohannon, so he was a winning coach,
right? And
he made just shy of $300,000. So there you go.
Right.
So almost a third of his salary would have been put on LSU to win in that game.
Yeah. I'm sure that dude was trying to take that.
There you go.
Flip it, buy some real estate.
Once again, before any of the sportsbooks knew, because LSU was unaware at this time.
Yeah.
Which is why this was an issue. So Bohannon, once again, the 15-year show clause, and if he
5 years,
if he does get hired, the 5-year suspension that's included with that show clause, because that show clause obviously just doesn't go away. That 5-year suspension, if he gets hired, like I said, it's like if I were to hire Jay tomorrow and say, okay, well, we'll see you in 2029 when you can start.
Yeah, that'd be great. And you got to pay him too.
Still got to pay him. That's what's crazy about it, is like he was SEC is the best college baseball conference. It is up there with the best college baseball conferences. You have obviously Alabama was successful, South Carolina is successful, LSU was the national champion, Florida, Vandy, Mississippi State,
Georgia,
Ole Miss, right? So
Georgia every once in a while.
That is viewed similar to in college football as the top tier of jobs, especially at a lot of those institutions. And unfortunately for Bohannon, just made a couple of poor decisions to once again say, quote, hammer LSU. The pitcher is out for sure. Let me know when I can tell LSU and hurry. Come on. Just gave his job away. There it is. Appreciate Jay Foreman hanging out with me as for this first segment, as Rico is out today dealing with some Supernova stuff, because they got a matchup against the San Diego Mojo coming up on Saturday. Once again, Austin is out today and tomorrow with some family stuff, so I'm going to be filling in for him on the block with Strick, and then I'll be hanging out with DP and Jay on Old School from 4 to 6 p.m. before I make my way over to Pinnacle Bank Arena for Nebraska and Wisconsin. Like we said, just a couple Wisconsin coaches. We're walking through the station. We're walking through the mill, grabbing a cup of Joe. So you never know who you're going to see. Maybe Greg Gard comes walking down the road here in just a few minutes. We'll let you know.
Get a little game plan.
There it is. There it is. Just don't use Chucky Hepburn. He's too good.
Yeah.
He's too talented of a point guard for
we
Nebraska.
could do him like Michael Jordan. Right? Hey, you want some pizza?
Yeah.
Just pick it up out of the dumpster. Put it in the microwave.
There's some out back. Let's take a break. We break down the Husker basketball matchup against the Badgers with Jacob Bigelow of Husker Illustrated coming up next. You're listening to the Happy Hour. Huge thanks to Empire Fence and Netting for their support as always. Coming up next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Follow Nick and Enrique on Twitter at Nick_Sainert and at Radio Rico AC. More of Happy Hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Gentlemen, Valentine's Day is just around the corner. Don't be that guy running to the store for flowers and a card on your way home. Hey, Rick Heyman here from Sartor Heyman Jewelers. We have great Valentine's gifts in store now. And if you spend $99, we'll throw in a free bouquet of a dozen roses. Give her what she really wants this year and let us do the rest. Sartor Heyman Jewelers, your hometown jeweler since 1905 in Lincoln and Grand Island. Online at sartorheyman.com.
Sports
Coming up in Lincoln, February 2nd through 4th at the Sandhills Global Event Center, it's the family show of all outdoors. The 55th Annual Boat, Sport, and Travel Show. With RVs, motorhomes, boats, trailers, discount tackle, and family fun for everyone. Interact with exotic animals at wildlife encounters and appearances by Husker football players. Veterans free on Friday, lots of free parking. Doors open at noon on Friday, 10 a.m. Saturday and Sunday. See you there!
Sports Show.
The Mill Coffee and Tea. Formerly with 4 Lincoln locations, but now 5 Lincoln locations. That's 25% more locations than there used to be. Can you even imagine a world where there's only 4 Lincoln Mill locations? Feels like ages ago. We were all so young then. The Mill on 11, located right alongside the 93.7 The Ticket Studios at 1040 O Street.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize before participating in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the K&TK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeit. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
It's phishing season. Bad actors are trolling your business emails, luring you and your employees to take the bait and steal your private information. Make sure your cybersecurity keeps your business from being the catch of the day. At Hamilton, cybersecurity is our business. We are experts at keeping your network and business information secure and off the hook. Contact Hamilton for a vulnerability assessment today. Hire your local experts. Hire Hamilton at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Golfing in 72 degrees and perfect conditions in Nebraska doesn't seem possible in the winter, but it is. Double Eagle Golf is your escape from the bone-chilling cold outside and a reason to keep your clubs out year-round. Book a bay with some friends for a weekend or come by for golf and happy hour on a weekday. Spring leagues begin in February. Get signed up today. That's all at Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex at West O Street. Online at doubleeagle.golf.
How do people feel about getting Big Fitness Energy at Planet Fitness for $1 down and $10 a month? They feel as thrilled as a kid the first summer they're tall enough to ride the roller coaster! That's right. When you join Planet Fitness right now, you'll get access to tons of equipment and free fitness training in a clean and spacious club. Don't wait. Join the judgment-free zone today for that all-day energy. Download the free Planet Fitness app and join today for $1 down, $10 a month.
Deal ends soon.
See Home Club for details.
Okay, it's time to sell the house. How do we even begin to choose from the hundreds of realtors in town?
Easy. We make a pros list.
You mean a pros and cons list?
No, just a pros list. We need someone with pro photography to showcase the house in the best possible way, pro marketing to make sure we get maximum exposure, pro negotiations so we know we get the best price.
This is one of those times where you already know the right answer, isn't it?
You know it is. Ben Bleicher and Professional Realty Group.
Contact Ben Bleicher and the team at Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway's Home Services Ambassador. Online at prg-ne.com.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is former Husker and NFL linebacker Jay Foreman. For years, I've suffered from degenerative problems in both of my ankles, but thanks to a thorough and thought-out plan provided by Advanced Medical Imaging, I was able to get my life back with the least amount of pain as possible. While working through multiple options, the team of physicians at Advanced Medical Imaging were there to answer any questions I had. If you're experiencing any pain at all and want to get your life back, go to amimaging.com or give them a call at 402-484-6677. Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard.
We wait all pro football season for the big game. But will you come out on top? Warhorse Festival of Games is putting you at the center of the action with 2 chances to win big. Earn entries for our $100,000 prop card challenge daily at Warhorse Casino Lincoln. Enjoy slots, sports wagering, and horse racing. Then make your picks about the big game to be eligible to win. Qualifying entries will also be put in the running for your share of the $20,000 grand prize drawing. Increase your luck for the drawing by playing free online games on the Festival of Games website. Skip the trip to Vegas and get in on the big game right here at Lincoln's favorite place to play. And if that's not enough, our $1 Million Bracket Challenge for college basketball is coming soon. Full details are online at warhorsecasino.com. Warhorse Casino Lincoln, just minutes from downtown at Highway 77 and West Denton Road. Why not today? Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
Are you in the market for a new garage door or need to repair your old one? It's wintertime, and that means snow, wind, and freezing temperatures. All things that can cause sticky locks and damage to your garage door. If you're experiencing any issues with your commercial or residential garage door during the winter months, call Cameron Hall and his team at Doors Plus. Don't be trapped outside in the cold because of a poorly maintained garage door. Call Doors Plus today at 402-590-5800 or visit them online at DoorsPlusLLC.com. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
The Omaha Supernovas are back in action this Saturday, February 3rd versus the San Diego Mojo at the CHI Health Center in Omaha. The Mullen Motors pregame show with Derek Pearson and Renee Saunders starts at 5 p.m. with first serve at 6. Make sure to tune into the Next Ag Appraisal and Realty postgame show right after the match ends. Catch all the action on your flagship station, 93.7 The Ticket, and statewide on the Supernovas Radio Network.
You're listening to the Happy Hour with Nick Sainert and Enrique Alvarez Clary.
This isn't the real Caesar's Palace, is it?
What do you mean?
Did Caesar live here?
No.
I didn't think so.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back into the Happy Hour, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Nick Sainert with you. Thanks to Jay for hanging out with me for the first segment as we discussed Brad Bohannon and Alabama baseball. Good stuff there. If you missed any of the show or any of our other shows throughout the day, make sure you check out the podcast page wherever you get your podcast. Theticketfm.com is an easy place to go to as well. 402-464-5685, the phone number to call and text all show long on the Starter Heyman text line, the Honda of Lincoln hotline, as well as the Starter Heyman Jewelers live video stream, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and Allo Channel 961, all avenues for you guys to get in touch with the program today. We got a good one tonight as number 6 Wisconsin is going to travel to Pinnacle Bank Arena as the Huskers try to get revenge on the Badgers. And for more thoughts on that, we bring in Huskers Illustrated own Jacob Bigelow. Jacob, what's up, man? Are you ready for tonight? It's gonna be loud and popping in PBA.
Yeah, it should be a fun one, man. I've been looking forward to it for the last couple of days. Felt like it almost should have been last night. Like my mental calendar was like, shouldn't there be a game tonight? But I'll take a Thursday night 7:30 game, and it should be really fun.
Jacob, what are we gonna do with Nebraska basketball? Because it feels like we forget sometimes, I think, Husker fans, that Nebraska is 15-6 still, and they're still kind of in the middle of the Big Ten Conference, right? And what I've been saying for a long time is just figure out a way to not have to play on day one of the Big Ten tournament. And if you do that, then you're going to also be in a conversation for an NCAA tournament bid. Well, we kind of jump to conclusions when we see and we experience Nebraska and their road game woes. What are we going to do with Husker basketball? Because tonight there's some, extra and added hope, I think, and optimism for Husker fans that Nebraska is playing at PBA.
Yeah, I mean, there's added hope for the fan base. There appears to be some semblance of hope with the odds makers in Vegas too, based on that point spread for tonight. But I mean, if you're not ready to ride the roller coaster with Husker basketball, regardless of the season, then I don't really know what else to tell you. I mean, we've seen some super high highs and some super, some low lows with this team, but the most of the highs have been at home, and that could add to the recipe to make tonight special. And they're searching for that one more like big pelt to put up on the wall. They've got Purdue, they've got the true road win against Kansas State. Even Michigan State's really helping them, resume metrics wise right now. And then, tonight's a chance to add another feather in the cap and trying to put together a resume for postseason play.
We're speaking to Jacob Bigelow of Huskers Illustrated on the Allo VIP line brought to you by Allo Fiber, where they understand the importance of exceptional service with a local heart. And Jacob, when you look at Nebraska, right, it's easy or excuse me, it's not hard to overlook the turnover numbers. In the last 3 games, 42 total turnovers by the Huskers. Is it as simple as if Nebraska wants to win tonight, they need fewer than 10 turnovers as well as Rink Mass to shoot maybe more than 5 shots?
Those are definitely 2 big pieces. I don't know if that's what makes it that simple. I think the defensive end of the court is also going to be critical for them tonight after we saw, the shooting performance that Wisconsin, had against Nebraska the first game up in Madison. But those are definitely 2 big, boxes to check, limiting the turnovers, and then, got to get the guys that you trust the most involved in the game plan. And Rink Mass is definitely one of those guys. But, the turnovers, we've seen it. We've seen the impact of when Nebraska's giving it up, in the double digits, and also the impact of when they're forcing them in double digits and some of their bigger wins this season. Turnovers are important, and converting those turnovers into points, they can be a difference in any ball game.
How big has CJ Wilcher been this season? Because I think Nebraska fans at the start of the year were a little hesitant to really buy some CJ Wilcher stock just because maybe there was a little bit of frustrating shooting going on last season from Wilcher off the bench. But here he is, and another season kind of in progress. And CJ has been a staple and has been one of the more consistent players for Nebraska basketball. And he's doing it in a role that Nebraska needs, right? We've talked so much about this depth on Nebraska's roster, but when you can have CJ Wilcher come in, and now it's kind of just something we're used to when we see CJ Wilcher kind of come in off the top of the key and drain a couple of threes off the bench. He's fully accepted the role, and now he's thriving in it.
Absolutely, and I think that's a critical part of it for CJ. He's seen a little bit of everything, in his time in the program, but he put a lot of effort this past off season into changing his body, changing his mindset, and it's all come together on the court for him. And his shooting splits, he is in the 50-40-90 club right now. That's from the field, from 3, and from the free throw line, and that's really impressive. No matter the player, but to have a guy that can come in, be a spark plug like he has been off the bench, I mean, it's a testament to him, testament to his work, and I think he's got a legitimate candidacy for Big Ten Sixth Man of the Year.
Oh, okay. So let's talk about the magnitude of that, because how refreshing is it as somebody we've both been around and been watching Husker basketball for years now. And how refreshing is it that Nebraska is pretty consistent in that fact, where they can go to the bench, maybe not to the numbers that we like, obviously, because they're not winning every single game and things could get a little hairy here if they don't get it done tonight. But for the consistency of actually having CJ Wilcher out there, or being able to go to the bench and not feeling like it's this massive drop off in talent or scoring ability, it's pretty refreshing as a Husker fan to know that Nebraska and Fred Hoiberg has that on the bench.
Oh, it absolutely is. To not have to hold your breath when the subs are coming in and not be looking at your watch to see how long it's going to take to get the starters back on the floor. I mean, it's definitely a refreshing change for anyone who's been a observer of this program for the last few years, and it's legitimate depth that we've seen all sorts of benefits and what it can do for a basketball program with this Nebraska team.
We're speaking to Jacob Bigelow of Huskers Illustrated on the Allo VIP line here on the Happy Hour. A couple more for you, Jacob, before we go ahead and let you go. What are the biggest keys for Nebraska to stop Wisconsin tonight? Because you look at this Wisconsin team, and AJ Storr is averaging over 16 a game, I think, and he dropped over 20 against Michigan State. They have some really good young pieces, and then guess what? They have a steady hand at point guard that a lot of Nebraska fans will remember in Chucky Hepburn. What does Nebraska have to do to just limit Wisconsin tonight?
I mean, their defensive, their rotations and their communication are going to have to resemble that effort against Purdue. I thought in the first game, I didn't think their defense was horrible. I thought they were just a step slow, maybe not communicating the best. And Wisconsin took advantage of it, hitting as many threes as they did. They also got a little bit of that high-low game going with Stephen Crowell and Tyler Wall, and that's the Wisconsin offense people know, the swing, the high-low game. But when you add in guys like AJ Storr, John Blackwell, and then Chucky being able to be more of a facilitator, they've got a new, they're winning with offense. They're not boring teams to death. So, I think the defensive end of the court, that's where, Fred harped on it at the beginning of the year that he wanted it to be this team's constant. And I think with a top 10 team coming into the arena, their communication, everything on that end of the court is going to have to be top notch tonight.
What's the biggest thing that Nebraska's missing right now? Is it that experienced point guard once again, like, Nebraska fans endured 2 seasons ago before Fred went out and brought in Sam Griesel? Is that like the piece that Nebraska feels like they're probably missing?
It's kind of a coin flip between a true point guard and, a bruiser inside. Rink Mast isn't your traditional, Big Ten 5-man, but he's been more than serviceable on the offensive end. But where we've seen the deficiencies inside is when they're going up against, bruising big athletes like Cliff Amore or Julian Reese. And, Nebraska hasn't had, a bruising, overly athletic 5, in quite some time. But it's kind of a coin flip between those two. And, we've seen the matchups that are the best for Mast and the ones where he kind of sticks out like, these guys are a little different than he is.
Yeah, just a quick note, Rink Mast in the previous game against Wisconsin didn't make his first field goal until 5:25 left in the first half. You feel like that's got to be much earlier in the game tonight.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And I know Stephen Crowell has had a couple big games against Rink, both the game in Madison earlier this year, and then last year Wisconsin saw Bradley in the first round of the NIT, and Stephen Crowell had 36. So I'm sure Rink is looking to, try to, turn the tables on that matchup with Stephen Crowell tonight. But yeah, he needs to get involved early and often for Nebraska.
Jacob, let's talk big picture here really quickly in terms of NCAA tournament, because it feels like Nebraska is in a spot to get into the big dance, and it doesn't have to be that hard. Like that's what I keep telling. I keep thinking internally is like, Nebraska doesn't have to make it this huge, hard deal to make the big dance. They just have to take care of business and maybe the games that they're projected to win, right? The Michigans, the Penn State at home, the Rutgers at home, the Minnesotas at home. And you can avoid maybe and dodge a couple bad losses, I think, on the road. But every single time Nebraska falls on the road, it creates this sense of panic, I think, in the fan base that, Nebraska's going to regret not being able to take advantage of that later this season.
Yeah, and it's Nebraska, they've got the biggest thing for them on the road right now is they have that one true, out of conference win at K-State. The road games they have left are against teams they've beaten at home, teams like Michigan, Indiana, Ohio State that are kind of, who knows what they're going to look like down the stretch. But, you got to hold serve at home first and foremost. I think this game tonight, it's definitely the most daunting, home game left on the schedule. It's also the last weekday home game. The last 4 home games are going to be on Saturday or Sunday, which I think will, play into the crowd being extra into it and give them a home court advantage like we've seen at PBA all year. But, the road game thing, the 2014 team, the last time they made the tournament, they didn't win their first road game until February 8th.
Okay.
They only had 3 of those on the year, and they, the last 2 of them were pretty big at Indiana, at Michigan State that year. But, they didn't find their footing until late January, early February, went on a run, and there's 10 games left, and I think there's still time for Nebraska to maybe throw something together.
There it is. Jacob, thoughts on Alabama baseball before we let you go?
How mind-numbingly dumb can one man be? You don't want to leave that extensive of a paper trail if you're trying to do what you were doing there. You'd think to maybe put a little more thought into that. But hey, the SEC, it just means more.
The part that I could not get past was that the sportsbook cameras were able to zoom so close on the bettor's phone to be able to make out the contact name and all the messages. That kind of freaks me out for when I make my trips to either Warhorse or somewhere out in Council Bluffs.
Well, between that and supposedly the guy was bragging about, I've got this text from the coach saying this guy's not pitching and he's going to scratch his starter. That was the most like, come on, man. But that and all a recipe to get caught and to not be a great look.
There it is. All right, Jacob. Hey, man, safe travels into Lincoln tonight. We'll see you tonight at PBA, and let's hope for a Husker victory.
Yep. See you tonight, Nick. Appreciate the time. Good to be back on the ticket, man. Thanks.
There he is. Jacob Bigelow. Appreciate his time. Good to have him back as well. Nebraska basketball. Huskers facing off against the Wisconsin Badgers tonight. It's going to be a good one. 7:30 tip-off, so shouldn't have any issues with potential late arriving crowd. And let's hope Nebraska can either keep it close for sure, but maybe even squeak out a victory, right? This goes right up there with Purdue level type of contest. You're talking about at that time, yes, Purdue was number 1 in the country. But now here comes number 6 Wisconsin into town and into PBA, a place where Nebraska is 13-1 this season. We're extremely, extremely strong under the roof of Pinnacle Bank Arena. Let's go ahead and take our final timeout. When we come back, we'll be joined by Eric Strickland. Like I mentioned earlier in the show, Austin is out today. So it's going to be myself and Strick from 2 to 4, and then I'll be hanging out with DP and J from 4 to 6 p.m. A lot of good stuff coming up on the block as well. Shootout with Strick. I'm excited to play the game show with Strick and with one of you guys, whoever wants to call in later in the afternoon. It's going to be a good topic as well on Shootout with Strick to earn yourself some gift cards. We'll be right back. We'll wrap up the happy hour after this before we get rolling with On the Block with Strick and myself. Coming up next on the happy hour, 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Download our app by searching 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day long wherever you are. More of the happy hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Are you in the market for a new garage door or need to repair your old one? It's wintertime, and that means snow, wind, and freezing temperatures, all things that can cause sticky locks and damage to your garage door. If you're experiencing any issues with your commercial or residential garage door during the winter months, call Cameron Hall and his team at Doors Plus. Don't be trapped outside in the cold because of a poorly maintained garage door. Call Doors Plus today at 402-590-5800 or visit them online at doorsplusllc.com. Doors Plus, garage doors and more.
The Omaha Supernovas are back in action this Saturday, February 3rd versus the San Diego Mojo at the CHI Health Center in Omaha. The Mullen Motors pregame show with Derek Pearson and Renee Saunders starts at 5 p.m. with first serve at 6. Make sure to tune into the next Ag Appraisal and Realty postgame show right after the match ends. Catch all the action on your flagship station, 93.7 The Ticket, and statewide on the Supernovas Radio Network.
Are you tired of living in pain? It's time to take control. At Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, we're your one-stop shop for expert care in Lincoln. From broken bones to complex reconstruction, our skilled team will help you get back on track. Visit prairieortho.com today and discover why we're the trusted choice for thousands of patients. Don't let pain hold you back. Take the first step towards a better, pain-free life with Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, where healing begins. Call 402-489-4700.
Okay, it's time to sell the house. How do we even begin to choose from the hundreds of realtors in town?
Easy. We make a pros list.
You mean a pros and cons list?
No, just a pros list. We need someone with pro photography to showcase the house in the best possible way, pro marketing to make sure we get maximum exposure, pro negotiations so we know we get the best price.
This is one of those times where you already know the right answer, isn't it?
You know it is. Ben Bleicher and Professional Realty Group.
Contact Ben Bleicher and the team at Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway's Home Services Ambassador. Online at prg-ne.com.
It's phishing season. Bad actors are trolling your business emails, luring you and your employees to take the bait and steal your private information. Make sure your cybersecurity keeps your business from being the catch of the day. At Hamilton, cybersecurity is our business. We are experts at keeping your network and business information secure and off the hook. Contact Hamilton for a vulnerability assessment today. Hire your local experts. Hire Hamilton at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
At Southeast Community College, community is our middle name. Our continuing education classes offer personal interest, traffic safety and licensing, online learning, and adult education classes across Southeast Nebraska, or online in your own home. Learn to ride a motorcycle, how to start a small business, how to dance, or take a course to advance in your current career path. See the full schedule of continuing education classes online at southeast.edu/continuing. SCC, your path to possible.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize before participating in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the K&TK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket. Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now, they've raised wages again, and they're hiring for production operators at $24.62 per hour, which grows to $28.97 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $33.36 per hour, with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates, with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or apply, go to continentaljobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
It's fishing season. Bad actors are trolling your business emails, luring you and your employees to take the bait and steal your private information. Make sure your cybersecurity keeps your business from being the catch of the day. At Hamilton, cybersecurity is our business. We are experts at keeping your network and business information secure and off the hook. Contact Hamilton for a vulnerability assessment today. Hire your local experts. Hire Hamilton at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Husker fans, your Nebraska wrestling team is back at the Bob Devaney Sports Center for a Big Ten matchup on Sunday, February 4th against Illinois. The duel begins at 2 p.m., and the first 350 fans will receive a Nebraska wrestling pennant. For more information or to secure your tickets, visit huskers.com/tickets or call 402-472-3111. Again, that's huskers.com/tickets or call 402-472-3111.
We wait all pro football season for the big game. But will you come out on top? Warhorse Festival of Games is putting you at the center of the action with 2 chances to win big. Earn entries for our $100,000 prop card challenge daily at Warhorse Casino Lincoln. Enjoy slots, sports wagering, and horse racing. Then make your picks about the big game to be eligible to win. Qualifying entries will also be put in the running for your share of the $20,000 grand prize drawing. Increase your luck for the drawing by playing free online games on the Festival of Games website. Skip the trip to Vegas and get in on the big game right here at Lincoln's favorite place to play. And if that's not enough, our $1 million bracket challenge for college basketball is coming soon. Full details are online at warhorsecasino.com. Warhorse Casino Lincoln, just minutes from downtown at Highway 77 and West Denton Road. Why not today? Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, expecting partly sunny skies to go along with more mild weather. We'll see a high of around 57. Tonight, mainly cloudy skies expected with a low of around 40. And tomorrow, more partly sunny skies, more warmer weather too. We'll see a high of around 55. I'm meteorologist Kyle Clucker from 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
You're listening to the Happy Hour with Nick Sainer.
Herbie the Fourth ate his first solid food today, prompting a response of nothing but steaks all week for the Nebraska offensive line.
Then Enrique Alvarez Clary.
No more peaches and carrots for Herbie the Seventh. Baby food be damned.
Sponsored by Empire Fence and Netting on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back into the happy hour. One final time before we transition to On the Block. Today, it'll be myself and Strick, as we're joined by Strick and Rico. Gentlemen, hello.
Hello. Hello.
How's it going, Rico?
It's going great. Sorry I couldn't be with you today.
That's okay. That's right.
I was down in Omaha.
Yeah. How was Omaha?
Taking in some Supernovas volleyball.
They had a matchup Saturday against the San Diego Mojo.
Yes, the San Diego Mojo. It'll be their second match of the season, as their first match is tonight. If you all are so inclined to watch that and kind of get a little feel for what the San Diego Mojo posed for the Omaha Supernovas on Saturday. They play at the Atlanta Vibe. Their first match is against the only 2-0 team in the league.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Atlanta Vibe 2-0.
Yep.
So maybe that loss isn't as bad for the Omaha Supernovas.
Nope. Well, hey, that was the preseason number 2 pick in the league. So it was a good, hard fought match. 2-point losses for the Supernovas. Larger wins for the Supernovas in set 3 and 4. But the environment, we had a couple players. They said the environment was electric. They love the fan base. Head coach Shelton Collier said that he loves how enthusiastic the fan base is, not only for the Supernovas. He says they love the Supernovas, but also their love for just good volleyball in general. And he said that the San Diego team has a really good setter that the fans might fall in love with. But don't forget, you gotta love on the Supernovas more.
Yeah, there you go. Love on the Supernovas. Tricky, how's life treating you?
Man, it's good. This is definitely golf weather.
The weather, man.
I
took a walk to go grab lunch today, and I was like, nothing. I can't say.
Oh, okay.
Not friends of the station.
Oh, no free advertising.
No free advertising. No free shout outs.
Not yet.
Not yet. But no, we took a walk to go get lunch, and it was so nice. I wish the 5-minute walk took about 10 minutes.
It is beautiful outside.
Yeah. I mean, especially after what we had to go through and endure, that negative.
He wouldn't know.
I was out of town. Yes,
you was out of town.
He was in Mexico, so this is bad for him.
The sun. No, this isn't too bad. This isn't as bad as when I immediately got back. But no, just the sun out and actually no wind. It's just that wind, man, kills you. Wind, man, kills you. But no, the sun's nice and it's going to be a good one tonight. Rico, thoughts on Nebraska, Wisconsin tonight before we get out of here?
The fan base for me is way too positive right now. I'm scared. I'm scared with the positivity of everybody just saying, "Oh, it's a home game, so they'll be fine. They'll show up. They'll show out." Like, I get it. I understand how they have played at home, but this is the number 6 team in the nation. This is a team that destroyed you when you went up to Madison. I understand that they play worse on the road than they do at home, but you're still going to have to show up. You're still going to have to show out. Potential of Juwan Gary being back with his tweet and him being day-to-day with his calf. But if you have him back, I feel better, but I still don't feel, I guess, as confident as everybody else is.
We're going to talk a ton about it
we're going to talk a ton. But I do want to ask this question since he's here.
Yes, please do.
Does it feel like Creighton? Like, you just want to throw that out there, right?
I would give it more the Purdue feel.
Really? Okay.
No, people didn't feel that great going into Purdue. People felt strangely good going into Creighton because
optimistic about Purdue.
Yeah, but they were more optimistic about the level of optimism is Creighton level because you beat Creighton last year. They came into this one feeling really good. And there is a potential based on what they did last time. Again, hopefully this doesn't happen. There's a potential that it could end up like the Creighton game.
Oof. See, what worries me, and I'll elaborate more on this, but what worries me about this is I know that Greg Gard's going to have them prepared.
They're going to be ready
for the rotations, for the forcing baseline. They're going to have a system set, and they've been working on it for this particular game. Now, they're got to be upset because they lost twice to Nebraska last year. That's something that they didn't expect, nor did they desire. But on top of that, Chucky's going to be fired up because he's coming back home. Then you've got this team that's literally on fire. They're going to be prepared. What is Nebraska going to do in the adjustments? That's the thing that we want to find out about.
Wisconsin is playing really, really good basketball right now. Really, really good basketball. AJ Storr went off for 20-plus against Michigan State, right? This was a game also, I went back and kind of watched parts and pieces of that Michigan State-Wisconsin game just a couple, I think on January 28th, just a few days ago. And Michigan State kept it close. Michigan State's playing some good basketball right now. Wisconsin was no match for him. It was no match for him. So the Wisconsin eventually pulled away and did their thing with the help of AJ Storr. But then also you'll remember against Nebraska the first time out, Connor Estigen went off for a couple of threes. The sharpshooter, 3-point shooter, Blackwell is a little undersized.
He wasn't even shooting.
He wasn't. Either. He was a little undersized. He's a little undersized, but man, he plays tough and he plays physical. That's one of those where it's like, once again, Nebraska hasn't had this issue so far this season. Like, this is a game where Rink Mass can't get into foul trouble. Rink Mass cannot be on the bench.
He's got to be aggressive.
He's got to be aggressive. But same with Juwan Gary, right? Like, if Juwan is available to play tonight, Nebraska's going to need all hands on deck tonight. They're going to need to.
You got to get 6-man CJ going. You got to get Rink Mass to be more aggressive and not settle for 5 shots on the game. You're gonna need. I don't know about a vintage Keisei Tominaga, but you're going to need a confident Keisei Tominaga who gets the crowd fired up, because that's the one thing that Nebraska will have in their favor is that the crowd needs to be as fired up for this one as they have been all season. I don't see that being a problem, but it needs to start before the game.
It's going to be exciting.
It's going to be exciting. Without Gary, the X factor for me has got to be Eli Rice.
Yes.
Amen. There he is.
Big
True
Eli Rice
freshman,
guy.
Big Eli Rice guy. True freshman stepped up, right? He maybe not in the scorebook, but he's been present, right? We've seen him 14 minutes, 18 minutes around that. He's been one of the first guys off the bench for Fred Hoiberg as of the last couple of games with Juwan Gary out. Don't go anywhere. That'll do it for us here on the Happy Hour. Myself and Strick will take you up until 4 o'clock. Plenty of stuff coming up as we preview Husker hoops against Wisconsin and much more around the world of sports. Coming up after this, you're listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Adios.
Okay, it's time to sell the house. How do we even begin to choose from the hundreds of realtors in town?
Easy. We make a pros list.
You mean a pros and cons list?
No, just a pros list. We need someone with pro photography to showcase the house in the best possible way, pro marketing to make sure we get maximum exposure, pro negotiations so we know we get the best price.
This is one of those times where you already know the right answer, isn't it?
You know it is. Ben Bleicher and Professional Realty Group.
Contact Ben Bleicher and the team at Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway's Home Services Ambassador. Online at prg-ne.com.
Load up on meat and more this winter at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. This week's special through February 6th